John Papier, Fallston, Maryland, and I bought 200 feet of the 7.5-foot deer fence, and I bought 100 feet of the 100-foot deer fence, which I did not use the 100 feet, the 6-foot, because of I'm saving that for something else. But the 200 feet of deer fence that I installed, I found it was easier to install than I had anticipated, because I was able to do it by myself and measured out the poles that I was going to use, installed all the posts and the poles, and then I went back and anchored the beginning of the fence, and then I just rolled it out and anchored it. As I got to the next post, I used the ties and initially loosely set it up for the next pole, and it did pole after pole, and then when I got finished, I went back and then I tightened up everything using multiple ties and using your tool that tightens the ties. You have the squeeze tool that tightens the ties. I think it worked really fine. And the good part is that using those ties, you can slide that fence up higher or lower. It makes it adjustable. And as I mentioned earlier, we did have a tree fall on the fence, knocked it all the way down to the ground. After removing the tree, the fence was not torn at all. I slid it back up to the top of the post, put new ties on it, as good as new. That was good.
You felt like it was pretty easy to do.
Yeah, my only difficulty, you saw there was one or two of the posts that were a little bit off of perpendicular, but I didn't really consider that a problem because it was in the back of the fence. It still retained the fence perfectly. It just didn't look perfectly, that's all. That was fine.
So what was the main purpose of this fence?
Deer fence to keep out the deer.
Oh, no way!
And we had at times as many as 5 or 6 deer in the yard, and having the deer in the yard is not a problem, but once the deer are in the yard, then they eat your flowers. So that was the problem. And that was the purpose of putting up the deer fence, and after putting it up, we have not had deer in the backyard since then at all.
And how long have you had this fence?
About 6 months now.
6 months? Oh wow, that's great. All right, did you learn anything, like useful tips or tricks during the process, or?
No, I think your instructions were adequate. I don't know if it was in the instructions or not, but I measured out the 200 feet, the number of posts, where to put the post, and it just worked out fine.
Perfect. So, how long did this take you by yourself to do? And you said 200 feet, right?
Okay, the time-consuming part, it took me a little time to put in the post, because each post you put the anchor in, you had to hammer the anchor in. It took me about 3 or 4 swings with a sledgehammer to get each post in. And so I would say it took me 2 days of 4 hours each day.
Okay, 2 days, 4 hours.
Something like that, yeah.
For 200 feet.
Yeah.
That's not bad, right?
Well, that was fine. It was good. I had questions a few times, and I thought I had miscounted. I didn't have the right amount of this or didn't have the right amount of that. And then when I called in and talked to your technicians or representatives or whatever you want to call yourselves, we went back over the count and everything was fine. It was all there. I just was looking in the wrong places, wasn't counting the correct things. Now, I did not use all of the bottom anchors, but I have them in reserve that I can add them anytime I want to. That's the anchors that goes into the ground, and I think that I have it adequately covered at this point. But if I need more, I've got them in the box ready to go. And I still have a reserve of the zip ties. That anytime I need to add zip ties, I still have leftovers for that.
Very nice to you.
That's good.
Yeah. So, how long from when you ordered it did it take to get here? You remember?
No, I got here rather rapidly.
Oh, good.
But I let it sit in my basement for a long time before I actually got to do the work, and I don't know exactly why. But
Probably getting colder.
well, I had to
6
remove
months
all the old fence I had there, the metal fence. I had to remove the old metal fence first, and that was another project. But it seems to me that I had the stuff in my basement a couple of months before I actually installed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you recommend our product to someone else?
Of course, I recommend it.
No way.
The anchors were very neat idea. Because the anchor, I call them anchor sleeves, because you pound them into the ground, and you have a cap that goes on it so that when you use the sledgehammer, it doesn't distort the sleeve at all. The sleeve goes all the way into the ground. It's about 3 feet into the ground. And then they put the fence post just slides into the sleeve, easy as you please, and it's ready to go. It's good.
Nice. Now, okay, what did you like and what did you not like about installing this fence?
What did I not like? It was work. Pounding those things in the ground. But I was glad that it was able to do it that way, rather than using cement and digging holes and putting cement and all that. That was very unique, and I really liked that. The anchor sleeves. I thought that was great.
Good. Okay.
And what I did not like, I can't think of anything I didn't like.
Really? Just the hard work, right?
Yeah, a little work.
But not too bad, right?
No, it wasn't too bad since I was retired and didn't have anything else to do.
Okay. All right. Now, how did you end up finding out about DeerBusters?
Probably it'd have to be on the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not positive how I initially found it. I get mailings on different things, and I'm not sure. I really don't know. Don't know.
Okay. Well, what made you pick us over someone else?
Probably your write-ups. It just sounded. It had everything in the write-up. I think it mentioned the anchor sleeves, and I got the heavy duty. You have the standard, and then you have heavy duty. And I figured for 7.5 feet, if a deer was going to hit the thing, I'd need the heavy duty. And since that tree branch fell on it and did not damage the fence, that's even better. I'm glad I had heavy duty.
Yeah.
So it worked fine.
All right. So this fence has been up for 6 months. Have you had it maintenance? What's the maintenance like on it? Anything?
Well, I just told you the maintenance when a tree branch fell on it. All I had to do is remove the tree branch, slide it back up, put on a new zip tie, and it was done.
That's it. There's been no other maintenance.
No.
All right. Perfect. How would you rate your overall experience for building the fence?
It was out of a 1 to 10. It would be 10. It's good.
All right. And then
Now you compare that with having a professional fence installed, would have cost me about $8,000 or $9,000.
yeah, that is true.
So this is much better than $8,000 or $9,000.
Yeah, and didn't you feel good when you got it all done?
Yeah. Accomplished something, right?
Yeah, you felt good about it.
I always like to save money,
Well, doesn't everybody? And did this fence achieve the overall aesthetic or look that you wanted, or
Yeah, I liked it because it blends into the background. It's very unobtrusive. It doesn't block anything, and because it is 7.5 feet high, any other kind of fence could be an eyesore. Where this, you don't even see it. You just see the black post. If you see anything else, you see the black post, and if you look more clearly, if you have good eyesight, then you see the little squares. Can you see the squares?
Barely.
My wife can't see them. Yeah, so it's good.
We're definitely 20 feet away, right? Yeah.
But
good. I think that's all, guys.
They're good. I'm happy.
Busting deers for years.